What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and if you're new here, my wife Deb and I bought 20 acres 6 years ago to build our forever homestead, and we're in the middle of doing that, and in fact we're getting ready to break ground on our new house, and we were told that they are going to start bringing the forms and everything over to get the forms ready for concrete, and that will be in like 4 or 5 days. But one thing that we have to do, and we started this a few months ago, but we're going to try and finish it today, or at least make good progress on it, is that old cedar tree there in the background has died since we've owned the property. And it's kind of sad because it was the one place where we had shade, because there was only one little opening here. And we would go sit underneath that tree and eat our lunch and just kind of take a break from working on the land before we had any buildings or running water or any way to escape this extreme heat in Florida. So we're gonna take that tree down, we're gonna limb it and take the limbs and turn that into mulch, and then take the trunk and save it and use an Alaskan chainsaw mill to make slabs of cedar and use those slabs for various projects going forward. But the first thing I'm gonna do, because I don't feel like sharpening it, is put a new chain on the chainsaw, and then we're gonna get to work. Always carry a couple of extra sharp chains with me so I don't have to sharpen one this morning. I'll just use this one that's been sharpened already. Ready to go. This tree is naturally leaning that way. I'm not going to try and fight it. It doesn't matter where it falls because we got all open pasture out here. And I am certainly not a professional arborist or tree feller. I'm going to save as much of this trunk here because that's where a lot of lumber can come from, is down here in this thick trunk area. So I'm not going to cut it up high. Cut it real low, and then we'll come in here with the excavator and dig it out. Some people are really good at this. I'm just not. I'll get the tree on the ground, but it won't be perfect. Starting to open up the cut, starting to go. Yeah, not perfect, but it's down on the ground. I undercut the hinge a little bit there. Pretty wood though. Some nice grains in it. It made my heart kind of beat fast there for a minute. Always a little bit of anxiety. You just never know with a tree where it's going. People that are really skilled at tree felling will probably watch this and say, you should have did this, you should have done that. And I'm not saying they're wrong. They're probably right. But Mike Morgan over there at Outdoors with the Morgans, he likes to say, this ain't you should, this is YouTube. We'll get all these limbs off the tree where we can chip them. I'll cut off any of the crooks off the limbs so they'll feed into the chipper nicely. And then we'll save as much of this trunk as makes sense to save. Well, I thought that needed to be cut from the bottom, but apparently not. I misjudged the tension on that one. Several of these limbs are fooling me. I think I need to come in from the top or the bottom, and I get it wrong. 50% chance of getting it right, and I get it wrong. Now that it's down and all the limbs are off of it, it's pretty much ready to chip. I have to keep the chainsaw handy for all the forks and stuff that won't go through the chipper. But even though it was diseased and dying, it's kind of sad to have to cut that tree because it's been a big kind of prominent standout here on the property for so long, and now it's gone. But you can see the stump is right in line with the water line that has to come out of the pump house and then go over here to where the house is going to get built. So we not only plan on keeping the trunk and doing something with it, but we're going to dig out the stump. And when we get our pond fixed so it doesn't leak water anymore, we're going to put the stump in the bottom of the pond, probably upside down, so that that side there is down. And just let fish and stuff live around the roots of it. So the tree won't get wasted. Kind of bittersweet, kind of sad, but it's nice to know that we're gonna see this tree again throughout the property in various forms. I really like this Wood Max chipper, but turning this chute on it to the side, that part wasn't designed very well. The wind's coming from that way. That means it's gonna blow all the dust from the chips on me, but I wanna minimize how far I have to carry these limbs. But this is the lever right here, and I've actually bent it. It's gonna break any moment. It doesn't turn well. And if you were to put too much grease or lubricant on it, it would just catch all that dust from the wood chips. But it's been a fine wood chipper. We bought this. It's not sponsored at all. It's handled everything we've thrown at it. The blades are dull, so it's gonna struggle with this cedar today. But I don't have time to turn the blades around. But let me go get the dump trailer with the HISUN sector. That way we'll put the chips right in the dump trailer and we won't have to handle those twice. This isn't ideal because the trailer's at an angle. It's also coming uphill, but I think I can shoot it over top of the tailgate of the trailer and get all the chips in it. I'll just kind of point this down a little. And if that doesn't work, we'll reposition the trailer. Normally the trailer would be level, but with the front end falling away, it has a chance of throwing chips in the back of the HISUN. Turn on the PTO here. All right, the wood chipper's going. In order to turn the PTO on the tractor and not be in the seat, you gotta have the parking brake set and also have the transmission in neutral. Then we'll crank it up to 540. We're ready to chip. Oops, I knocked it over with a limb. Shavings from that big one. All right, guys, I mostly got it, but I had to take a break. I was feeling lightheaded. Miss Piney Grove came out to check on me, so we're gonna get a word from her because this is the first time she's seen the tree laying on the ground. But I've got almost a full load of wood chips, and I've got easily 3/4 of the tree chipped up. Trailer's pretty full. I'm gonna turn the mic over to Deb, but she said she knew I was cutting this down because Bella doesn't appreciate chainsaws, and Bella was hiding in the corner, wasn't she?
Bella was hiding in the corner. Bella was hiding in the bathroom. I literally couldn't take a step without Bella right by my side, so I didn't hear the chainsaw. I didn't know that's what you were doing. I know we talked about it coming down this weekend, but Bella told on you.
Yeah, Bella told on me, and you've been inside talking to Jesus, having
some
church time.
I had great church time today. It was wonderful. Great service, great message.
What's the message to the folks out there about the tree? When you came out, I saw the sad look on your face.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get choked up about it because we've talked about it before. This tree has meaning to us when we first cleared the property, and it's special to us. But although I'm a little emotional with it gone, it was sick, and it didn't look good, and it needed help. And it actually looks better with it down since it was sick and not a pretty tree.
But grain.
Yeah, I was admiring this from afar. It's just beautiful. I mean, look at it. Talking about God and God's creations. Look what he does. So I can't wait to see what we end up doing with this because it will not go to waste.
Okay, I'm all rehydrated. I sat in front of the fan and cooled off, played with Bella a little bit. And we'll get comments a lot. People see me in these long sleeve shirts and stuff around my neck and my face or whatever, but they actually cool you. So once this shirt gets wet with sweat and a little bit of breeze hits it, it's actually cool to the touch. It's much better than cotton because cotton kind of locks in the heat. And it's better than not wearing a shirt at all because it protects you from the sun as well. Now, I don't think the Kubota can lift this, but we're gonna give it a shot. I'd like to take it out of here all in one piece and then cut it up into chunks later. Trying to figure out where the center is. Tractor only lifts 1,000 pounds. Yeah, put your guess right now in a comment. Do you think the Kubota can lift it? I don't think it can. 7 feet of trunk there, the wide trunk, and I don't know, 15 feet that way. We do have a grapple, but that's on the summit. Actually, there's no grapple on the summit, but we have a grapple for it. But the summit lifts less than the Kubota. Well, it'll lift it. I just got to get closer to the big trunk. It actually lifted it with ease. It wasn't like, oh, it barely lifted it. All right, if I line up on that, it should pick it right up. Move this over just a hair. Should be centered and pick it up. Still off a little bit. Not bad though. All right, I think I got it about centered, but I'm gonna try and get it more in the bucket. You ever have one of those dogs that chase car tires? You think that dog's dumb? Just having fun, right? But I wonder if the dog ever thought, what am I gonna do when I catch this car? Because that's where we're at. Now that I picked it up, what are we gonna do with it? It actually feels pretty steady, and I don't have any ballast here on the Kubota. I would have thought this weighed more than 1,000 pounds. And I tried to pick up an IBC tote with 100 gallons of water in it, and the tractor couldn't do it. I could have cut it into more manageable lengths, but then I would have had to hook it up 3 different times with the tractor. And I guess because it's dying, it's dried out a little, so it might make it a little lighter. The problem is it's not going to fit where I need to go. I got to get it between these 2 oak trees without hitting them. I think it might fit. The pile's right there. Definitely mill the right side to make boards. But building a country house, Deb may utilize the other end of the trunk, the smaller end of the trunk, for something else. We actually used 2 pieces of cedar here from Piney Grove to make a decoration for my parents' house here on the property, which is pretty cool to take something native to the property and use it in the house. All right, this is where it's gonna get tricky. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to cut some off the end there. I hope this don't mess up the balance of the tree too much. When I was trying to maneuver in, there was so much weight on the front tires with the power steering, it was still hard to turn. Call that a win. Those that watch our channel regularly know that my dad passed away recently, earlier this year. This is one thing I inherited. He liked to use it for raking pine needles. But every time I use this, I think of him because he loved this rake. Created a nice little valley there. Let's see if all of that brush pile that's left will fit in. When it can't keep feeding it, it'll start smoking. Dove's nest that was in the tree. We let the dove hatch out before we cut the tree down. Last big branch. Remote control. We had a change in tow vehicles because Mom came by with my sister after lunch. And whenever Mom comes by, she wants to take a ride in the HISUN, which my sister has officially called or named the boogie truck. So I took Mom for a ride around the property in the boogie truck. I'm gonna use the Kubota to move the trailer. But this hitch here is just really, really nice for moving this trailer around. After I get in here and grub out these trees that we sprayed, this brush, get them cut down, is get all this covered in wood chips and just kind of have like a little, you know, nice shaded area here. So we'll probably need 3 or 4 loads of these to get there. We drop this tailgate and then we'll pump up the dump trailer. I consider this dump trailer one of my favorite implements or attachments, even though it's probably neither an implement or an attachment. Just so handy, and you can run it off the hydraulics of the tractor, or you can run it off of this hand pump right here, and it's not really that hard to pump. That's almost it on the height of the dump trailer. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching us take down this cedar tree. It's bittersweet, but as you see, the chips are gonna get used here for some mulching around these oak trees. We're gonna use that trunk for something else. So while it's a loss, we're gonna repurpose it and make lemonade out of lemons, right? But until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard.